Morning guys, I am on a 4-day adventure and this is morning number 1. It's an early one this morning and I'm here to photograph that rather incredible place. Morning guys, so let me just give you a brief situation report. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning to photograph that and I made a mistake of inviting a friend along, somebody who I've not seen in a very long time. And anyway, story after story after story, I now find myself 2 hours later and not having taken a picture. That's not a bad thing though, absolutely far from it. So clearly I'm not going to get any sunrise pictures now because the sun is well and truly up, as you could probably tell by the light on my face, and possibly a big shadow behind me. So what I'm going to do now is use this time to wander around and look for compositions that I could have had this morning during that amazing light but didn't, and then I'll revisit this location probably tomorrow morning, but at least I'll be better armed. Hi guys and welcome to this week's video. That is Happisburgh Lighthouse. Gary, you've already done that. Just look at that. I mean seriously, just look at that. That alone was well worth the 4.5-hour drive just to get here. I've seen some good looking lighthouses before, but that is definitely in my top 2 or 3. Definitely. In actual fact, I could probably think of maybe Nice Point in the Isle of Skye that's prettier than that. But when it comes to pretty lighthouses, I tell you what, that's going to take some beating. What a fantastic place. And the crops are so still, there's not a breath of wind. And with that sky and the detail in the sky at the moment, I'm going to get my camera and I'm going to probably shoot that maybe at an 8-minute exposure just to get a bit of streak in. And I bet none of that crop will even blur, you know. I mean, look at this for a natural lead-in line. That's just incredible. Oh, this is a definite goer. So the idea of this now was to wander around with my camera and try and find various compositions. And I turned up at this first location, my first composition of the day. And rather than mark it and come back later, I thought, nope, I've got to take it now. So, best laid plans and all that, and here I am already taking pictures. So let's throw you guys in camera so you guys can see what I'm looking at. And to me, this is the best way of learning, and I still do this in terms of, I've got a really nice composition. I've stuck to the rules of thirds quite well. I've got lead-in lines, a lovely S-bend leading off to the lighthouse top third, left-hand side. I think it's brilliant. Now, where the learning process comes in is this. Before you take a picture, take a look at this image and just think for a second, is there anything that you don't like? Could you improve on it? Well, possibly. One thing I don't like about this image is these buildings up here are fantastic. Everything about this image is brilliant except for one thing, and that's these buildings here. I'm very square onto them. So they're very square. Everything looks square and flat, and that's a bit of a shame. But me being me, I'm going to take the picture from here and then I'll wander in a left and right direction to try and find out if I can make this composition better by attacking it from a more 45-degree angle. But yeah, in my opinion, that's the best way to learn. Right, okay. Now, there's not much movement in the clouds and the clouds look really nice. So I'm going to try something a bit out of the ordinary. I'm going to throw my 15 stop filter on and take an 8-minute exposure. Now ordinarily I would expect the crop to be blurred, but the crop I don't think is going to be blurred. Positive thing, negative thing, not really sure. But with 8 minutes, I'm almost guaranteed to get a streak of clouds going across the sky. It's not 100% imperative that you do that. I just want to. In terms of settings, I know that a 60th of a second will achieve an 8-minute exposure with a 15 stop filter on. So obviously without the 15 stop filter on, I've set my camera up so it's now 60th of a second, f11 at ISO 100. Pre-focused, everything's ready and ready to go, so all I now need to do, camera to bulb mode, timer to 8 minutes, and away she goes. Whilst I'm taking that long exposure, there's something that you can do is quite cool. As you can see at the moment, the clouds are really high and they're not moving very much. But if you want to know how much they are likely to move over a 2-minute or an 8-minute exposure, then just simply set your camera up and take a time lapse. Watch this. So this is an interesting composition, using these yellow flowers as foreground interest. It's a shame that they weren't set in the barley a little bit more, but I quite like the barley here because it's all whispery and obviously leading off to the lighthouse in the background. I like that, that's really nice. Do you know, I might even turn this into a vlog today. No sunrise, no sunset, just turning up during the day in this light, under these conditions, taking whatever pictures I feel like taking. Love this, love it, love it, love it. From here, pretty similar to before, I've got a bit of a break in the barley here and another lead-in line going off. Like I say, pretty similar to the first shot, but this time I'm making it a more square crop. Well, it looks as if it could be a square crop. I'm not a square crop fan, but it certainly looks as if it could be a square crop in this instance. But again, I've taken a couple of shots, but I'm also going to take an 8-minute exposure. I'm not sure how that'll turn out because the clouds have lost a lot of definition. They're moving slowly still. They're high, but they've lost a lot of their definition. And there's no point wasting your time taking really long exposures if all you're going to get is just a blanket of white in the sky. That completely defeats the object. But from here, there's a kick of light coming from the sun. It's still AM, so it's still fairly low in the sky. And it's given us that lovely three-dimensional feel to that lighthouse. And also, as much as we've lost some of the house in the foreground, it's sat in a much more comfortable position for me in terms of three-dimensional. So it's more of a 45-degree angle. I much prefer it like this. And it's still over my shoulder. So I'm going to venture around and possibly use that in conjunction with the lighthouse. So foreground interest, background interest, that might well work, but that's my mindset. That's what I'm thinking about right now. And in case anybody's wondering, I'm in tyre tracks that are this wide. I'm not trampling down the barley, and I'm not venturing too far into the farmer's field, just ever so slightly. But like I say, one thing I'm not doing is trampling down his corn, just in case you were wondering. How cool is this? You can't get a better foreground interest than a painter that's painting the background that you're also photographing. That's cool, isn't it? Would you do me a favour, just 1 second, just for me, and then I'll take a nice picture of you, because this is really nice actually. When you're painting, can you just move just about a foot to the right, please? You don't have to paint anything. That's it, just so I can see your picture, please. It's small in the frame, very small, so don't worry. I'm just going to take a picture, so 2 second delay. 1, 2. And again, 1, 2. I don't know if you look at the camera a second, please. I'll do one for you. Perfect. That's really good. That's really, really nice. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's cool, thank you.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me get your email address before you go, please, and I can send that to you. Is that okay? That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's Helen. Well, you know, I bumped into Helen earlier on this morning. That's the painter. And when I saw her painting, I was in the van and I thought to myself, I'm going to put my breakfast down and rush across and grab a picture of her painting the lighthouse, because I just think that's so quirky. She's seen the picture and she's asked me to send it to her, which is obviously no problem at all. But I love the picture. I think it's so cool. It might even end up as a print. On top of that, she liked the picture so much, she asked me if she could paint the scene from the picture, paint the picture. Obviously I said yes, no problem at all. Right, okay, cool. What a great day this is turning out to be.